guys, welcome back to another movie review, and today I am reviewing Kraven the Hunter. Yes, Kraven the Hunter is the new Sony Spider-Verse movie. I'm actually mad that when did we have Venom? I think it was 2 months ago, something like that, 1 to 2 months ago. So we've had two Sony Spider-Verse movies in the space of 3 months, really. And Kraven the Hunter is the newest movie in that franchise, starring Aaron Taylor-Johnson. We get Russell Crowe, and we also get Anya DeBose in the movie. Yeah, this is an interesting one. I honestly didn't think they could get any worse than they have, these Spider-Verse movies. Now, I'm going to do a ranking video coming soon in terms of ranking my thoughts on the entire Spider-Verse movies, because they've actually canned off the universe now. There's not going to be another Spider-Verse movie after Kraven, and rightly so. This is horrendous. I honestly think it's one of the worst films I've ever watched during the channel. It's up there. There were so many decisions in this movie that didn't make sense. All of a sudden, there were so many times where, like, all of a sudden they would show up, or somebody would show up, and it's like, how did they know where they are? How have they got there that quick? And we're not talking Kraven now, Kraven the superhero guy or whatever, like the fast person. Like, normal characters would just show up, and it's like, and then they just like acknowledge it with one line and then move on. I honestly thought this would be a little bit better than Madam Web, and I thought it can't get any worse than Madam Web, but it has. It's definitely worse than Madam Web, which is crazy. Aaron Taylor-Johnson in the movie is okay. He's not fantastic. He's not good. He's okay. He does a decent job, and he's in the part. You know, he looks the part as Kraven, in my opinion. I think he's a good visual of Kraven, the costumes and his hair, etc. He does good. We do get an origin story in there, which, you know, for a movie that is focusing on a big actor like Aaron Taylor-Johnson, who, by the way, is rumored to be the next Bond, and if he does a performance like this for Bond, then it's not going to go down well, is it? But what I will say is he does look the part for the role. We do, as I say, get an origin story, which I like personally in the first movies, because it gives us a bit of a, how did he become Kraven in the first place, you know? And we do get that, but I think that went on for too long. There was like 25 minutes of this, like, Aaron Taylor-Johnson's character, Kraven guy, but he was being played by a young actor, like a kid. So Aaron wasn't even in the movie for best part of near enough a third of the movie, because they were focusing too much on this backstory, which there was a lot of stuff there, but it didn't need to be 20 odd minutes long. It could have been done probably in 10 minutes, a few flashbacks kind of thing, and we would have got the gist of it. I think that's what the most important thing with this was, to get the actual story moving and all of that. There was also an important bit in there about, like, the brothers, and like they're growing up together, and then, you know, what happens towards the end of the movie in terms of the brother and how he focuses on with his story and whatnot. And so the brothers have this, like, relationship and all of that. Then you got the father, which is played by Russell Crowe, which he's put on this, like, Russian gangster voice accent for, like, the entire film, which doesn't suit him at all, really, and doesn't suit, you know, the actual film and him. So I think Russell Crowe was probably too big of an actor. I think they probably should have just got someone that is an actual Russian person, because I was watching it, I was like, this is Russell Crowe, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it didn't really fit the role of who he was. I think they were just going for the name and then saying, right, now do a Russian accent, and that's your character. The worst character in the movie, though, is Ariana DeBose. I think her character of Calypso was just very convenient. She was one of those convenient characters that just cropped up all the time. And you know, she was, what's happened to her career, by the way? She was on West Side Story doing amazing things, and then she did ISS, this film, and I think like another film that bombed recently, can't remember now, but she's doing like bad movies, I mean, but she was doing great stuff at one point. It's a crazy turn of events in terms of her decision and her agent, maybe. But yeah, as I say, her character just showed up, and, you know, weirdly, like, she was on safari with her parents or whatever, and then she had this, like, tarot card or whatever, and then she saw the kid, and she saw Kraven, gave him the thing, and it was like a lion on there with strength, and then all of a sudden, then they find each other in their, like, mid to late 20s or whatever, and she's now his sidekick kind of thing, in terms of, you know, when he's hunting people. It was an absolute car crash of a movie, and there's so many decisions in the film where you're just like, you're questioning it, you know? And it is a shame, because all of these, you know, Spider-Verse movies definitely had potential, you know? And I'll go more into detail in terms of my ranking of what I think about each one, but all of them really just don't hit the mark. They have really good actors involved, a lot of them do, but it's just a shame as to why certain creative decisions were made, you know, to take these movies forward. It's just absolutely absurd. But thank God they've got rid of this. It's a shame, because, you know, we've now got less comic booky movies, and I like all the Spider-Man villains from my childhood of watching the 1993 animated Spider-Man series. So it's a real shame that I'm not going to be able to see any more characters get made into other movies. But at this point, you know, we're not getting one or two crap films, are we? We're getting like a whole car crash, and Kraven is, in my opinion, one of the worst out of all of them. So rating the film, I actually gave it a 1.5 star. Very, very low scoring. I think some of the things that it did do well, though, was the practical stuff on screen. I think there was a lot of practical elements, and there wasn't as much CGI, I thought, as maybe other of these movies. So some of the visuals, I think, did look quite good. Some of the choreography, there was a car chase scene, and we'd seen some behind the scenes stuff of, like, you know, Aaron Taylor-Johnson being strapped to the outside of a car, and it did look great. Like, some of that stuff looked good. Some of the actual fight scenes were good. I'd say this was borderline rated R as well in terms of some of the deaths, which I think was good to actually get, you know, try and test our limit of getting as close to rated R as possible without actually being rated R. So I think that was really good, that they really stretched that to try and go as far as they could without being a 15 rated movie here in the UK. So there were some good moments there, but as I say, the whole film as a whole was an absolute car crash. I'm somebody that collects all the steelbooks to this, so I'm probably not going to buy this on day one, this steelbook, because I don't want to pay the full price for it, as I do every year. And then now you can get Madam Web for like 10-15 quid in HMV, which I paid full price for. So I'm probably not going to buy it straight away, but I'll probably buy it, of course, when it's on sale, just to complete that collection. But yeah, as I say, stay tuned for that Sony Spider-Verse ranked video. There it is, guys. There's my review of Kraven the Hunter. Let me know your thoughts down below if you have seen it. And of course, stay tuned for more videos coming soon on Movies with James. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.